and welcome back to another episode of Cooking and Conversation. This is Season 2, Episode 2 of Cooking and Conversation with your host. How are you today?
Great, how are you?
Great.
Oh, I'm peachy.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. So, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes, I'm Tamara Smith. I go by Tam.
And I'm Elise. Go by Elise.
Thank you. So, for today, we have an exciting menu today. We're gonna do tandoori chicken. I'm gonna show you some easy steps to do for tandoori chicken. I'm gonna do choka as well. Choka is kind of like an appetizer, you know, to go with your food, or like with roti or something like that. You would do it with. I don't exactly have roti right now, but I have something else similar to roti, so you can do that. You know, get your hands dirty.
Okay.
I have some desserts, some mini cherry pies in a ramekin, and then I have another cherry pie. Well, it's a blueberry pie. I'm gonna put some apples in this, in a ramekin as well.
Okay.
And show you an easy way to do the dough.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, we're gonna do some fruit with a Caribbean dip to it. So we're gonna get that done. We're gonna do some ribs and some vegan ribs. Now, the vegan ribs may not turn out right. Don't shoot me, but I'm trying my best to do the vegan ribs.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay? Trying to do a nice comparison between here's with some regular ribs and here's some vegan ribs.
Mhm.
You know, what do you like best? Did I capture the flavor? You know, all the intent behind it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So, we good with that menu for today?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. The tandoori chicken I am actually going to bake. Okay? So, that's going to take the longest thing to do. So, I'm going to start with that first. And get all the get it spiced up and nice. Put it in the oven.
Spicy.
Okay? It's not going to be too spicy.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And you eat jalapeno peppers?
No, sir.
What? Shame on you.
But I'm gonna still taste it.
Okay. But you do eat strawberries, right?
I do.
Okay, well, guess what? When I make the dip, you can dip away.
Okay.
Cream cheese. Okay. Let me get my spoon. Alright, so we can spoon out a nice healthy amount. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna use some agave.
Okay.
So, it's only 3 ingredients.
Oh.
Be generous.
All right.
Last but not least, some curry.
Oh.
And what did I focus?
I wasn't expecting
No,
that.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
I wasn't expecting that either. But okay.
Curry.
So is that the Caribbean part?
Yes. So I just keep refilling this right here. If you notice on the box, it says garlic. It's not garlic in there. It is Madras curry. Okay. Just enough to taste the curry. And let me tell you a little story about this. So I made this at a cookout I have here at the house, and I had my cousin help me on the grill. So my cousin and one of my staff members, because I was doing a cookout for my staff actually. Then I gave them a tray of fruit kebabs. Okay, they were supposed to put the fruit kebabs on the grill and baste it with this. I was like, it's been 20 minutes. Where's my fruit? I go outside. What do you think I caught them doing?
Different.
Oh, they won't dipping. I caught them with the tray of fruit and the dip like this with their fingers in it, and it was like this. I was like, "What y'all doing?" I was like, "We taste testing." See, we taste testing. So you know what happened was we dropped something in there, right? And we picked it up, and we just accidentally, we licked our fingers. Dude, really?
Yeah, like, okay.
So that's what happened. So I was like, okay, I need to remember that recipe.
Yeah.
So did you come up with this recipe yourself?
Yeah, half the stuff I do on the fly, right? When I'm having like cookouts and stuff like that here at the house, and It just happens.
Because I would never think to put curry
And
cream cheese in a taco.
Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll take some fruit. Alright, I'm gonna take some apples. And we're gonna put a little bit.
so let me say,
Mhm.
this is definitely different than most of the stuff that I usually eat. So I'm gonna say kudos to you already just because you have me coming out of my normal
Try this.
Now you called it some type of curry, so we're M.
Madras.
Madras.
So, you know, there are different types of curries. And if you want to have more, I'm gonna put this right over here. Feel free to indulge as much as you like. And here are the strawberries right here. So you can indulge as much as you want. Okay? So this is for you to eat throughout the entire show.
Now what's the madras?
So there are different types of curries. Madras curry is used in Trinidad. Then they have chief curry, you know, that's used in like India, parts of the Caribbean too. And then you have like a Jamaican curry. Then you have all the Thai curries, right? The green, the red curry, stuff like that, right? So every curry is the home. Before I get started with curry chicken, I mean not curry, tandoori chicken. I'm sorry. This is the dip right here. This is how it looks in the finished product. All right.
It's a good combination of that I would have never thought to put together.
and definitely a different taste.
It was definitely a different taste.
And it's not as strong as I thought it was gonna be when as I'm watching you pour it in there. Thought it was gonna be really strong,
No.
but it's not. And let me just add my favorite curry.
I was about to say, I thought I didn't like curry.
Really?
There's different types of curry.
Really? I'll make some fans.
Because if there's a choice between jerk and curry, I'm going to choose jerk. What happens?
All right, so some ground cumin, not so generous, only a little bit. And if you have to measure it out, do a teaspoon. We do not want a lot of cumin because cumin will actually take over the flavor profile.
Okay.
Next up, a little bit of mustard. Some ground mustard, just a little
You
bit.
said lemon mustard?
No, ground mustard. So
Oh, brown. Oh, okay.
just a little bit. Crushed red pepper. Just a little bit. Don't need a lot. Just that's it. You don't want your mouth on fire.
Right, we don't.
No, we don't. We got some paprika, right? Some smoked paprika. And we can be generous because paprika really doesn't have a good. It doesn't really have a taste at all. It just got a little bit of taste. That's about it. We're gonna use some onion powder. Just a little bit. Next up, some garlic. That's all we're gonna do.
Well, I love adding garlic powder to stuff.
Huh?
I love adding garlic powder to stuff.
All right. Well, I have some complete seasoning. This is like an ad. This is an ad lib for me. It's my complete seasoning. So just a little bit of that. And this complete seasoning actually is a complete seasoning because if you look on the back, right there, it'll tell you all the ingredients in it.
Has a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. And it's only not 90 milligrams of sodium.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as opposed to some of them, so it's like 120, 500. We're gonna have some. Oh, here it is. Black pepper. Some black pepper. Only a little bit. There we go.
That was it.
Right. His little bit and my little bit is way different. But okay.
Really? Really? We gotta go there? We gotta go there like that? Alright. For those at home, here's the rub. Okay? Just take your spoon and just mix it all up. Okay? What you're gonna do next is, here's the chicken. Oh, the chicken still has some water in it. Let's pour some of the water out.
So you don't mix the onion and tomato with a little bit of the seasoning first? Or you just kind of let it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Kind of let it do its thing. All right, here is the seasoning. And we mix it all up. Okay? So we can mix it all up right here. I want to put a little bit of seasoning in because I want to make, because it's in the bowl, so it's all tightly together. So.
So garam masala.
Yeah, garam masala.
How is that different from tikka masala?
I've got a couple more spices in it. Alright. See how that looks so far?
Okay.
The paprika gave it a rich tint already. Alright, so mix all that up in there. Now, food red coloring. Here we go. Oops. Can't get it. There we go. It doesn't want to come up. Alright, there we go. So let's pour this over top of everything. Alright, so here's pre, right?
Okay.
Alright, now let's go ahead and mix this up.
So that's what gives it.
Barbecue sauce or something.
Alright, so here's the tandoori chicken.
Okay.
For those at home, here's how the tandoori chicken looks. Okay? This is what you want in the end state. So let's go ahead and do it. Oh, can't forget. Just gonna add a little bit of flavor. So, this is our chicken. And this is gonna take 40 minutes on 350. Halfway through, we take it out of the oven and then flip it over. And so, as you see, there's nothing in there, no stock, no nothing else. But it's gonna produce chicken stock from the chicken as it cooks in the oven. Ladies and gentlemen, in Food Land, here we go. The tandoori chicken is now going in the oven. This is everything that goes into the choker. Okay? So for those at home, these are all the ingredients that go into the choker. Okay? And I need to get Man, you don't even look like you would have grandkids.
Yes. So my grandkids, gonna get them a little care package, little personal items.
Like what?
You know, like they like bath stuff. And so they're twins, a boy and a girl. They're 13, and you know they're starting to get into little boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the little boy likes, you know, especially if he thinks he's gonna go around some young ladies, he, you know, have to put on his smell good and put on his smell good and all of that. So.
And all of that?
Yeah, his little, what is it, the Axe. He likes the different fragrance, Axe. And I said I was going to get him some real cologne, but he doesn't know how to, you know, put a little teeny bit on yet.
Oh, so he just like...
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man. Come on. There we go.
Valentine's Day, if we good and, you know, we show each other all year long, or we, you know, then I'm good with that. I don't,
You
it
good with
doesn't
that?
have to be, I don't have to be like, oh my God, he didn't send me flowers, or, you know, nah. Like, do it spontaneously when you think of it, when it's on your heart, do it, because that would be way more to me than doing it on a scheduled day.
Okay.
Yeah, I like both.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not opposed to it.
Right.
You know, like, you know, don't just what you said, but,
Right.
But you said.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, I'm dicing up some garlic. Because I'm also gonna put the garlic inside here, along with the onion, and I'm gonna char that as well.
I need some good knives, because the knives I do, and I try to do that, it doesn't work right, and I'm like, you know what, let me just give me a good knife set.
Oh, a good knife set is everything. Everything.
Oh, the thing that I do like to do on Valentine's Day is my male friends who are, you know, just strictly friends,
Right.
I love to send them surprise, like a Valentine's packet.
Oh.
So I did that. I did it last year, and then I was actually traveling in 2020, right before the pandemic hit, but the year before that, I did it. So
What's in the packet?
like it's something already like pre-ordered or something. So maybe a little teddy bear and maybe some desserts or something like that.
Okay. That's a thought.
It is.
Yeah, just a surprise, like, you know, no reason, no nothing.
Top, we turn it off, and then we pour everything into a bowl to mix everything together. Right now, I have the garlic in here, and I have the onions, and I want them to saute a little bit. Okay. Now, we can start peeling the skin off of this. So, in high school, for Valentine's, all them years ago, I didn't get any Valentines. I didn't.
Really?
All right, so first of all, let me explain. I don't look, you know, we all look different when we was in high school, right? So when I was in high school, I was actually 130 pounds at 5'10". So 130 pounds at 5'10", I'm a stick.
Yeah.
Girls didn't want me. You know what I heard was, if you just gain a little bit of weight, you will be fine. You know, I heard it for 4 years in high school. I was like, you know what, I'm tired of y'all.
Did you play sports?
I ran track and field. So if you're trying to gain weight, you ain't gaining no weight.
Yeah, not track and field.
No, sure not.
One year, he come to my locker. I had my locker open. I bent over getting my books out.
And you smacked your butt?
Wow, that took a whole left turn.
Right. No, he rubbed it. But
See what I'm talking about?
it's supposed to be, obviously, from the history, supposed to be from, you know, for a couple, but, you know, Valentine's could be a little bit just friendship.
Okay.
You know, I do like, I like the thought of sending male friends something just because. Single male friends, because you don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Well, oh, I do have a male friend, but when I send something, I send it to both him and his.
Okay.
Yeah, him and his wife. So I sent it to him, and that was what I did in 2019 or whatever. She thought it was from him, and he actually had forgotten that it was Valentine's Day.
Are you serious?
So you helped him out?
And so he saw that it was, he come in the house and she was like, oh my gosh, you got me something for Valentine's. And he looked, he was like, huh? So I was just like, oh my God.
All right, this right here didn't cook enough. It didn't char enough. Because when I was breaking it apart, it should have just easily broken apart.
Oh, wow, okay. That's not going to mess up the little skillet thing? See, some things with cooking that I know.
There we go. We got fire.
All right.
Let me fire.
Caveman days.
Come on. Do you see the movie Castaway? Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
Let me fire. I got fire.
Another microwave to use. And so her and I used to always get in these kind of heated debates at work because it just, like that's like heating up fish and seafood in a workspace. Like you really need to, have
Be aware.
another.
Courteous.
Yeah, be courteous of others. So, oh my gosh. And so I was like,
Time.
what is that?
We're gonna put first time on it.
Okay. Body just waves and speaks. Right? Looks good.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, at home in Foodie Land, this is our Tandoori chicken. There you go.
And you notice a difference too at home in St. Mary's County, where my parents live, and I guess because my dad is just really friendly. So when we're outside and people come by, they waving, and me living away from home for so long, and then moving back, they waving. I'm like, who they waving at? Y'all know them? And then I'm like, oh wait a minute. Then I have to realize
What's going on?
where I'm at, right? Like, oh, okay, I'm home. That's right. You could wave. Like it's okay.
Right.
So.
So I'm originally from Long Island.
Oh, really?
So I didn't grow up, with the Southern hospitality and speaking to strangers. Even though my dad and my grandfather were really friendly, and speak to everyone, and knew everyone in the neighborhood. I moved here for about 10 years for grad school. Then I moved to North Carolina for about 13 years. And that was culture shock.
Yeah. People will speak in North Carolina. But you know what's really, really interesting? It's a red state.
That was the culture. So I quickly got used to the Southern hospitality. I thought the people there were so friendly, so welcoming. Made a lot of great friends there. It was the redness of the state that was the culture shock for me. The things that you hear from the pulpit that I wasn't used to hearing, being from New York.
They will be political in the pulpit.
Yeah. And then right before, I'm trying to think. Then the last president ran while I was still there, and that's when you really start to see people's colors. Or even, no, you know what, even before that, when Obama was elected.
Oh, you saw colors. Oh, you saw plenty of colors.
That's when it was so different. I went to work when he won the election, and it was like how I imagine if like J.F.K. or MLK died. Like it was like they were mourning at work when I went to work the day after Obama was elected. Yeah.
And St. Mary's County is a red county. And a girlfriend of mine, she was like, so it's Friday night, what you getting into? I was like, there is absolutely nothing to do down here. There's not a lounge, there's not, they don't have live bands.
Right.
Any of that. And then I said, and then you're a subject, if you go out, you're subjecting yourself, depending on where you go, that you may have the N-word, so you gotta be prepared.
It's the N-word with ER to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to prepare yourself for things like that. And I was like,
So, North Carolina has 100 counties. And there was only 3 of those counties. There was Durham, there was Wake County where Raleigh is, and then Mecklenburg County where Charlotte is.
Right.
Those are the 3 blue counties.
The big 3.
And those are the 3 where I would feel safe to be out at night. I worked in Cumberland County. After work, I went straight to the hotel. I got something to eat, went straight to the hotel. I wasn't going to be out after night.
wow.
After, dark.
We see the steam coming off of it, so we know that oil is hot.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the choker that we've made in the bowl. That was olive oil. Next, we stir it up. Because this is what makes the rest of the choka.
Not like finished cooking it.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some bowls for you. And then I'll give you these.
Oh, so this is the sloppy eating where you can eat with your hands.
Yes,
Okay.
this is the sloppy eating part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen at home, this is how it actually looks for the final product. So,
Okay.
who wants this bowl?
Thanks.
Okay. Something that simple. But when you heat up the oil, just by itself, and then the oil finishes off, and it gives it that final flavor.
A lot of different flavors.
Can I get a piece of?
All right.
It does has a lot of good flavor.
See?
I was nervous. Not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be too spicy with the jalapenos, but it's not. I haven't bit one yet, though. You need to say that.
It just adds to the flavor. Okay? Just adds to the flavor. Because prior to doing it, my dad asked me, what version of choke are you doing? I was like, I'm doing it with the garlic dad and the pepper. He's like, oh, okay. There's more than one version of choka. Okay? Just
That's at the bottom.
It's cream.
cream.
Okay.
I got cream in the bottom of it.
Okay.
Because it's going to add to that. Alright? Seasonings. So, the rest of the onions, the red onions, just put that in there. Okay? Now, here comes the other seasonings. We're going to do some onion powder. Now, let's just take this out.
And what was in there?
Well, this was just a starter. It was some a cream of soup already that I had already made to help this. So this is going to give you a few different flavors in the profile, and we're going to stir this around gently because that's hot. All right.
What did you miss the most? And I know that was a whole different setting than, like visiting like Dubai or something like that. But
Believe it or not, I actually got work done. Being overseas on a base, I actually got more work done there than I did in the States.
oh,
Just did. But there were times where, things happen. You're like, you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. You're over here. Because they were bombing the base. Like one night I was walking from my office. It was like 8 o'clock at night. I was walking back to my barracks, where my room was at. And guess what happened?
Mortar.
I saw a rocket coming in, and I saw the rocket blown out of the sky by the automatic defenses on base. I'm like, yeah, I'm not in the States no more. Clearly, yeah.
right, like
So right here, I have some mini cherry pies.
Oh, thank you.
Taste. Because now we're going to get into how you make that cherry pie.
Okay.
All right? All right. All right, so I'm going to show you how we get to that final state of the mini cherry pie.
That's Duplin right there.
Yes, so this is a Duplin Scapanol.
I used to pass that winery on the way to work because I worked on Fort Bragg,
Oh, you mean Vietnam?
Vietnam.
Yes, I said Vietnam, ladies and gentlemen. For those who live in North Carolina, they know what I'm talking about. When you live in, because when you go through Fort Bragg, if you notice in some areas, there are no stoplights. They want you to just go.
So that's why when I left work, I went straight to the hotel. Well, I got something to eat right around the mall area, and then I got to the hotel before it got dark.
Ah,
I
ladies and gentlemen, here is our tandoori chicken.
All right.
That looks delicious.
So we need to get those going.
I'm gonna put my dessert aside then.
Okay, so here's the vegan ribs right here. I'm just gonna leave these out for a minute or two. Cause I'm actually gonna put these in the skillet. I'm gonna put those in the hex class skillet because I need for it to actually cook in the skillet. Cause this is gonna do everything it's gonna do right here. I need to cook it in the skillet and then flip it over, put it back in the oven with some more barbecue sauce on it.
Really?
In here. Might as well just put a couple of apples in there. And I have cherries.
Oh, this is the pie?
This is the pies.
Okay.
So, all this is for the pies. And I have some butter. I don't mind butter. Oh, here it is right here. It was hiding from me. That's the country plant-based butter right there.
I do. I feel like who is
Medium.
Who was it who always cooked with butter? Is it Paula Dean or Martha Stewart?
No, it's Paula Dean.
Paula Dean cooked with a lot of butter.
Oh, yeah.
That's me. So I use the country fried plant-based.
Paula Dean loves some butter. And her thing is, I'm not on the diet. If I die today, I died happy. What? You know I'm not lying. That's Paula Dean. If I die today, I'm going to die happy, damn it. Come on, you know she would say that because she said it already. If I die, I'm going to die happy. And then Martha Stewart was like, she said, vegan? What for? That's so blah.
Martha Stewart said that?
Yeah!
It tastes good though.
Okay, but Martha's thing is she doesn't like to have. She wants to cook something that she wants to cook, right? You tell her vegan, why do I have to cook vegan for? She don't want to do that. She wants to cook what she want to cook. Don't tell her what you want to cook.
Oh.
Don't tell nobody.
All right. Nothing wrong with that.
Don't tell nobody my secret. All right, so we got wine, we got brown sugar, and we got a little better than a quarter stick of butter in there.
That's more than a quarter stick of butter.
Shh, to our viewers at home, that's a quarter stick of butter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all fun and games, but it's actually 3/4 stick of butter. Actually, not a quarter stick. It's 3/4 stick. See, you can't me tell the truth.
I don't spend that much time in the kitchen, but
There we go. Just a little bit. There we go. I can already smell it.
It's no problem. I like bread. Like it really don't matter.
You like bread or you like the choker? Which one is it?
So actually, both.
Oh, okay.
So I'm liking the Choka
Uh-huh.
because of the flavoring.
Right.
However, I had to chill out for a minute because I think I bit a jalapeno.
Okay. So,
But I'm loving the flavor.
you loving the flavor instead?
Mm-hmm.
Even though you've been to jalapeno, you still loving the flavor?
I am.
Okay. Oh, that actually smells good, don't it? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have cherries here that are fresh cherries, and we have fresh apples. So, the next step is time for the cornstarch. Here's what I have. Here's your cornstarch.
How? Oh, that looks like a lot.
oh, you haven't tasted it yet?
Dublin.
Oh, excuse me, Dublin. Copper.
Really?
Okay, all right now.
Okay, so look, we only added in a white wine, right?
Right.
and we only added in our extracts, the lemon and the vanilla extract, right?
And
Yeah.
butter.
Right. And all of a sudden it has already turned colors, right? So the next thing we do is we add in some more cornstarch. We're gonna add in some agave. We're gonna have it thicken up. And at that point, when it thickens up, we're gonna put it in our ramekins.
Alright, give me word for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I'll let you taste it before it goes into the ramen. Okay, so for the vegan ribs, I'm going to explain to you what's in the vegan ribs. Actually, I'm going to show it to you, actually, so you can see it. And for those of you at home who can't see, this is actually, the sauce inside is actually thickening up. See, I'm doing it gradually so it doesn't burn, see?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you put this on.
So those are seedless cherries?
I know, I actually de-seeded them this morning.
Okay.
I sat here and was like,
Okay.
trying to get the pits out of them.
Okay.
So the gadget I have, it does 6 cherries at a time. I was like, all right,
Okay.
look at that. Smells good.
Looks good.
Oh, look at the syrup. See the syrup now?
Mm-hmm.
This is what we want. We want a nice thick syrup here. The more cornstarch you put in, the thicker and thicker it becomes. Hence, we didn't use no water. Well, we use flavored water. It's called wine.
Right. Right.
That's always the best water.
All right.
I know, right?
Really? Really? It's a flavor bomb.
Mm.
Man, look at that.
I can't wait to.
Smell of that. Smell of that. That's gonna go in the oven shortly.
Oh, it's going in the oven too?
It's going in the oven.
Mm.
All right, so we're gonna put this to the side
Mm.
because we need to roll out. The dough is gonna go on top of it.
Right, right. Mm.
And that's going in the oven.
So that's different than we use? Because these don't have blueberries, do they?
No, those were the first ones I did. These are the second ones.
Right.
That is sinful.
She said it's simple.
Oh my goodness, that's not even done yet, and I'm excited.
You get to taste it. You get to taste it. You get to taste everything. Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
I am.
I'm a little quirky in the kitchen, if you ain't noticed.
And that's all right.
I do stuff that's non-traditional in the kitchen, like, this is non-traditional. For a cameraman that's behind the scenes, he's patiently been recording everything. I'm gonna just give our cameraman a little prize.
What's that, a kick of lemon or something?
Remember that?
Like the lemon extract?
Because that's what I'm smelling.
Yeah, that lemon extract was...
So,
That is good. I'm sorry, did I smack? My bad. My bad. Table manners, sorry.
we now have our tandoori chicken finalized right here.
This looks really good.
Like a piece? Want to taste?
Absolutely.
Mm. My God. I need some rum.
I got rum.
I'm talking about me, my stomach.
Oh, room.
Yeah, that type of rum.
Okay.
I might need this if we don't want the video to go left. Another bottle of water.
Here you go. You can take my bottle. How about that? All right. So let's get a piece of the tandoori chicken here. And we're going to go ahead and cut it. Let's dip it into the nice broth here. And we're going to cut this. Which one you want? Come out.
really good
Yeah.
with the choka over top of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have to choke it up.
I'm scared I might get a jalapeno. But yes, this is very good. I like the flavor.
Like the frozen home. I've already rolled these out. Okay. I've already cut slits in them so they can breathe. Just don't want to act right.
I think the last time I made a pie, no, it was what was it?
Okay.
Put butter.
So for those at home in Foodie Land, here's how it looks. And to show you the other one I did, just like that. See?
Good deal, good deal.
These goes on our baking sheet,
For how long and what temperature?
350. And we're gonna have it in there about 20, 25 minutes, possibly. See, part of my pre-staging and whatnot, I rolled all the dough out, and then I cut slits in the dough so that he can pass through.
Wow.
So, and there's actually a crust like this on the inside of the ramekin as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's how I did it.
Do you preheat your crust at the bottom or no? Yeah.
I mean, because these are small.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really need to do all that.
Okay.
Took the jackfruit with that wheat and did what?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you the process I went through. Okay. I'm not gonna leave anything out. I'm gonna tell you the whole process. My goal is to get this into the skillet like this. All right. Because I need to. We gotta make it hard. It didn't harden up when it was in the oven. So trying to get it to harden up like it would actual meat.
Did you add egg?
You can't. It's vegan.
Oh. See what I'm saying? It's
The stuff in there.
Then you put another layer of barbecue sauce on top of it. That's how it's supposed to go.
After all this wine, I probably won't remember. But okay.
Oh, that's okay. That's
It'll
fine.
be on tape.
What did we actually do? Alright, so I don't want this to burn. So we're trying to get this to act like meat. The jackfruit in it can taste like chicken, it can taste like pulled pork, it can taste like ribs, it can taste like anything. It's nature's thing where it can taste like a whole bunch of different stuff. If you
like
season it.
tofu.
Yeah, it's like tofu almost.
And what I can't get over is how it looks. So getting it like you have it, I think I can deal with it. But getting the actual jackfruit and cutting it and looking at it and like I can't.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
You serious? You can't?
I can't.
Alright, so. Alright, see that? See how that consistency is right there?
Yeah, it's starting.
You want the vegan rib, but you want both.
I want both.
How about that? How's our rib look, ladies and gentlemen?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir.
You like that?
Yeah, let me.
So how's the rib?
It's good. Tasting something a little different than just the barbecue sauce. I know something spicy didn't kick in.
It was a rub. Had a rub on it.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
I know folks gonna be mad and like, oh, but she just picked that rib.
You know what? Some people may say that.
Trying to act like I got a little bit of mayonnaise and stuff.
Here you go. Here's your butternut squash soup. Well, it's butternut squash cream soup. Let's be specific on that one. Details matter.
It does.
Okay, gotta clear my palate.
That's good.
Got some curry in it.
No curry. No curry was in it.
It tastes like it though, doesn't it?
But there's no curry in it.
I'm thinking that's another might be.
Can you do that?
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. These are ready. See? Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, so. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What do you want to say?
On the side of it, like that.
Hey, give me that little corner that's already closed right there. That little small piece
Where?
up there.
Right here?
No, that, see, yeah.
What? This one?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, no, yeah, because I still haven't finished this one.
You even got some char on it. See, I got some char on it.
Yeah,
Alright, there we go.
and that's exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Flavors there.
So, if I was to give this to you right out of the blue, right, but didn't tell you it was a vegan rib, do you think you could figure out it was a vegan rib?
Probably not. From the look of it, I would immediately think, oh, okay, meatloaf,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue meatloaf
Mm-hmm.
is what I would think from tasting it.
Mm-hmm.
But from just tasting the red to this, not too much difference in the taste.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So if you didn't tell me, I would say, oh, okay, barbecue meatloaf. And then I would taste it and be like, no, this don't taste like a meatloaf. But you're, you know, the smoke.
Your taste buds will be confused, right?
Yeah, be confused, and I'm tasting a lot of the barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So as someone who doesn't eat too much, I don't eat pork and I don't eat too much red meat,
Right.
I would think it was beef.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I did my job with this thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for it not to be either, then I'm really happy. Because I could eat it.
Well, this makes me feel happy because I was kind of struggling earlier because I was trying to figure out how the hell is this supposed to work. Because I had gone through the internet looking for all the different recipes, right? Trying to figure out which recipes actually have similar, you know, which recipes have the same ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I don't do a lot of vegan stuff. So people have been asking me to do vegan stuff for the last year. I was like, okay, let me try my hand at vegan. You know, so I do some vegan stuff every now and then. So this is actually a true vegan dish right here. This one.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good.
Yeah. I would be happy to be able to, because I would be able to eat it. Because if it was pork, I wouldn't eat it, and if it was beef, I wouldn't want to eat it. I wouldn't want to eat too much.
I got you. What do you classify everything as? You know, give it a grade. Like the appetizer for the Caribbean dip, the fruit. What do you think?
Go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise because I didn't think I would like curry.
Right.
So I learned that I liked curry, and it was easy.
Mhm.
So definitely like a
Okay.
A minus.
So I definitely give that an A
Mhm.
because I usually don't eat curry.
Right.
And
But I got you.
you did. So, and I'm real picky. I'm picky. Let me just say that, right? It's different, especially for fruit,
Mhm.
right? You wouldn't think of putting curry into fruit, so I would definitely say A
Okay.
for that because, again, it's a little outside of the norm.
Right. Right. All right. So now let's move to the Choka.
Oh yeah, that's bomb A plus.
And you saw how simple it was to make, right?
Yeah.
You see, you gotta put the char on it.
Yeah, that's the part I would say is not simple. I mean, it's doable.
I had tongs.
For someone who's not in the kitchen that much, it was doable, but
Okay.
I wouldn't say simple.
Okay.
But the taste was excellent.
Okay.
So-
But I didn't make it look hard, did it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Not at all.
Okay. And as far as ingredients go, it was real basic.
Mhm.
Probably the only thing that would be like something that's off the charts is like what you do with the oil. The oil would just sit in the skillet,
Right.
getting hot. As soon as you saw the steam coming from the skillet, okay, now it's ready.
Right.
Salt, pepper, and then let's pour that oil all in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that oil is what brought everything together.
Yeah.
So-
And the reason why I say A is, well, we all know that olive oil usually gives good flavor
right.
to stuff, but one, it was simple, and two, just the flavor from just what you put in there, pepper and just the olive oil flavoring sitting with the tomato and the onions, just really gave it
And
a
the
good
garlic.
flavor.
Mhm.
And you saw me
Oh,
miss
and the garlic. And you know, I'm a bread eater, so it really was. But I'm telling you, that right there would have been great over some baked chicken. I'm serious, just over some baked chicken. With that would have been bomb.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, that's an Indian dish, though.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind. You know, that's an Indian dish.
Okay.
So next up, you had the ribs. You didn't.
Mhm. Ribs were really good.
Okay.
Um,
They were on the grill. Now, let me tell you, they were done differently. What I do is when I do ribs and if I do anything on the grill with particular meat, I wrap it up in butcher paper and I let it sit on the grill for a few hours.
mhm.
Okay? So when it's wrapped up in the grill, in the butcher paper, it can sit there 2-3 hours. That grill was at 450, 2 hours.
Mhm.
And you know how cold it was outside.
Mhm.
But that grill was at 450 in 29-degree weather, and it was still at 450. And those ribs was on the grill, wrapped in butcher paper. Okay, so it was still juicy. It wasn't dry, right? And I had a rub on it. And then when I took it off the grill and I sliced it up, then I put the barbecue sauce on top of it, you know, to make sure to keep it wet. So that's what I did with it, and I put some wood, you know, the wood chips in it to give it the smokiness flavor of it. That's what I did with it.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's how all the flavors were bonding together like that. Okay, on that rib that you were tasting.
Yeah. And yeah, you could taste a little of the wood chips.
Mhm.
It's the flavor of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay. The tandoori chicken.
That's really good. And especially with the choka
Mhm.
on it. But that was good.
Yeah, very
The two
good.
go
very,
together.
Yeah, very juicy. Very juicy. The flavor. And I'm still shocked at the red food coloring.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
so you've had tandoori chicken in the past, but you didn't know it had red food coloring in it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So,
Yeah, so that was the surprise.
So you learned something new, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we mentioned, we thought it was like from paprika or barbecue sauce.
But I put the paprika in. The paprika started the process, right? But you add the red coloring. And you saw me do it in the bowl.
Right.
So when you go to an Indian restaurant and they serve tandoori, if you notice they also serve some Greek yogurt to go along with it, but they mix it with something else. You know, so when
Okay.
that goes along with the tandoori. But I thought for today's purposes, Choka went better with the tandoori, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good pair.
Okay. And the butternut squash soup. It's actually no butternut squash cream soup actually.
Right. And it's real good, as you see me, you know, trying not to just take it to my face. That's real good. Because I don't like spicy, I would have left the jalapeno out. but very good, very tasty. Taste the
But the jalapeno didn't add that much kick to it. They only put us a little bit.
for me.
You should feel it on the back end.
For me, but it's still good. It's still like the flavoring.
Okay.
It's really good.
I think it's a good compliment to the Indian dishes.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said there's no curry in it. There's something about it tastes Indian.
Right. Garam masala.
Oh,
That's right.
That's
This
what
is
it
your Indian.
Okay.
Okay.
This isn't.
I knew it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say it's something in here that, like, just everything kind of complements each other.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This was all right. Okay.
So say that's mine at the bottom. Okay.
Here you go.
Thank you.
It's got a little kick of lemon for me. That lemon extract.
You liking it?
I like it. It's just like, it like just does
It sings to you, huh?
Yes.
So you got cherry, apple, and blueberry in it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hold on now. Let me mix this on up. Hold on. Get a piece of crust. Because I love fruit. It's very, very good. And with the blueberry. It was good even without it. When you gave us that sample, before, it's really good.
It was even good without the crust, but then to add the blueberries and the crust.
Let me tell you.
Mm. That is different.
You take a little less the lemon.
Oh, the lemon comes too strong,
Yeah. Okay.
but it complements everything.
But it's still something.
But I'll tell you, no, some fresh vanilla ice cream. Some fresh vanilla ice cream on top of this, done. Good.
I don't even think it needs all of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. And as you see, our guests are pleasantly happy with everything that was delivered. So, usually I say, as my sign off, don't take any wooden nickels. For those who didn't grow up a certain way, I grew up in the South, and don't take any wooden nickels means, don't let anybody pull the wool over your eyes. That's what it really, really means, okay? So, keep it 100, and don't take any wooden nickels. And have a great day. Thank you for joining us.